Hello everybody, Joe Tactical here again. In this video I just wanted to share with you guys a few very good options as far as water bottles or thermoses, sport bottles, canteens, whatever you want to refer to them as. Now let me put this out here before I even get started. I am not sponsored or endorsed or speaking on behalf of Klean Kanteen. Yes, I know there is quite of an assortment in front of you, but they have all been purchased and nothing has been given, so you don't have to worry about me, hyping up a company because they somehow paid me off, whether it be in gear or money. I don't do that. That ain't my thing. Okay? I probably got all of them at either campmore.com, ordered it that way, or went to my local Eastern Mountain Sports, something like that. Okay, just to put that out there because there are a few different varieties here. Some of these are my girlfriend Colleen's. The two on the right, the blue taller one and the purple shorter one, they are both hers. Okay, I got those for her for a gift or for gifts at two different times, along with some other stuff, and also one out of the two large stainless steel 40 ounce she actually got me for my birthday. Now let me just share with you guys a little bit of insight before I get to the whole Klean Kanteen thing on where I'm at. When I find a piece of gear, a brand of gear, or maybe I don't like the overall brand but one specific item that a brand will carry, and when I find that it holds up to what I need it to do and function the way that I need it to function, I take that and run with it. Okay, for example, you guys might know that I'm an SE knife fan. I fully acknowledge and understand that there's good, better, equal to, greater than, whatever knives on the market. But for me and my needs, my purposes, my preferences, and my skill set, I prefer SE knives. I'm not opposed to any other ones, but that's just what I like. Same thing with Glocks. When it comes to backpacks, I'm a big Kelty fan. When it comes to, small backpacking stoves, I like the MSR Pocket Rocket. I like MSR as a company altogether. So when I find a brand that I like or gear, again, that I like, I go with it. So if it seems like I accumulate, huge amounts of the same thing, essentially, that's why. Because I trust that brand. I trust Klean Kanteen. I know that they can withstand a lot of abuse and do what they need to do and be backed accordingly. That's very important as well. But I want to show you guys a few comparisons in case you're thinking about getting, one or two or all of them. Now let me grab the tape measure real quick to give you guys an idea. This is going to be just a crude measurement, just a Joe Tactical style video. Nothing's really specific and etched in stone. It's just giving you a mild idea. Alright, now, with certain things, let me give a little philosophy here. I got her the blue insulated. These two are insulated, and then the black one is insulated. The three stainless color ones are the single wall. The insulated are double walled, and they have a vacuum seal in between those two walls, and that provides great insulating capabilities, big time. Now they have different caps, like these are the coffee caps, for example, and that's obviously so you can drink without taking the cap off. There is a reasonable amount of difference between the insulating capabilities from this style cap or the cap that it comes with. You have to buy these caps separate, which isn't a problem because if I had to pick between the two, I'd rather have this one, but for most use, I'm sure people would prefer this. Just spend the extra $5-6 and get the extra cap if you want to use it for coffee, things like that, or whatever. Also, these can brew tea very well. The insulated ones, they can brew tea very well as well, so that's a good thing. But let me give you guys a little bit of insight on how the two for Colleen went. I got her the blue one because she liked taking either hot tea in the morning or coffee or something like that to work. So what I did was I got her the larger one, and I believe that's a 27 ounce. Let me just check to verify here That's a 20 ounce. I'm sorry, that's a 20 ounce. That's a 20 ounce, and I figured she could go if she didn't make coffee in the morning or something. She could stop somewhere and she could just take this in and fill it up. Well, the problem is it's a little too top heavy. Not saying it falls over, but it's just a little too top heavy and a little inconvenient. And I'm going by what she's saying because I went with the shorter one. But you know, she liked it and everything, and for the capability that it has, it's definitely a good thing. But for day to day, running out with that coffee, going to work, this really didn't fit the bill too much with her. So when I eventually get her another one, I would get her another one of the shorter ones. Now the shorter ones are 16 ounce, and that's only a 4 ounce difference, so that's not too much of a big deal as far as loss, but you see the difference in size. And just to give you guys an idea here, I'm going to do a very crude measurement, okay? Now keep in mind these have the coffee cup style lids on them, okay? And we're just going to do a very rough, that looks like 8 1/4, that looks like 9 3/4, and this obviously would be the same. This is 8 1/4. The 40 ounce with the standard lid is about 10 1/4, and then this here, this is the 18 ounce. Klean Kanteen might be discontinuing these smaller. They had a 12 ounce and they have this 18 ounce. I hope they don't discontinue these. That'll be a horrible, horrible thing. If that's the case, I might have to take $100 and buy several of these 18 ounce. 18 ounce is kind of an oddball size, and I can understand, I guess, if it's not a popular seller. But I gotta tell you something, specific kits, when size matters, no pun intended, when size matters, this is a very critical thing, meaning the difference of, okay, well, I can take this, but I can't take one of these 40 ounce ones. And I think they're still going to have like the 27 ounce or something, which is about the same size as this height-wise and width-wise. But I wouldn't want that size, because if I could afford the height of that, I might as well just try to squeeze in the 40 ounce and get the benefit from that. But the 18 ounce is awesome. So please don't buy all of them up so that I can get some, like 5 more. Okay, but nevertheless, they do have their uses and functions and everything. Let me just kind of give you guys a size here. That looks to be about 7 1/2, including that top, which is really cool. And let me talk about the top real quick. I wouldn't necessarily hang that from a carabiner and have it like flopping around. It's just like water weight really surges back and forth, and that just puts strain on whatever you hooked it to. It's just not something I would do, and I really wouldn't recommend doing it either. Okay, but let's check out a little bit more in detail here what we're looking at. Sorry, I hate moving the camera on you guys, but I want to give you guys a decent comparison. Okay, there we go. Alright, well, let's check out the lids. Oh boy, we're going to get in depth with it now, ain't we? Alright, so this has metal, and their claim is, okay, well, we don't want any plastic with the liquid, so we got metal here too. Well, you're not really going to seal unless you're using some type of rubber anyway, and there's a rubber washer that goes around this perimeter here. So it's minimizing the plastic and or rubber exposed to your liquid. But hey, it didn't go anywhere. It's still there. It still has to be there unless it was some type of very precise, which this is precise and precision, lockup where it mates to the bottle itself. But that's not going to be watertight as it needs to be without some type of plastic, unless it was just a $1 billion design, and it just, yeah, it's just not going to happen. Now, with that being said, this is definitely probably one of the safer non-plastic bottles that you could have. So if that's a concern for you, just throwing that out there and everything. Now let's check out inside the bottle. I want to see if you guys can see that seam. There's the seam on the inside. I don't know how good you're going to be able to see this. Just to give you guys an idea. I'm trying to show as much of this as I can. And right there is the seam from the inside. You see they pretty much polished it invisible down the length of the bottle. But I'm trying to show you guys as much as I can if you don't have these in your local area, and so you can get a real good idea, because they are a bit pricey. But the way I look at it, you buy it once and that's just about it. So, and you could get creative with putting some type of bail system or whatever around this little lip. It'd have to be pretty tight, but it could be done. And there's their logo there. Pretty cool, Klean Kanteens. Now let me kind of do a comparison for you guys. And I'll grab my insulated to give you guys an idea of the seam. Now the seam in the insulated, which you're looking at now, looks a little bit, I don't know, tougher or something, but I would assume that's because of the vacuuming process. I'm not exactly sure. Also down near the bottom, you can actually see around the bottom that the weld actually goes around, where on the non-insulated you can't really see it hardly at all, if any. I don't know if you guys can make it out or whatever, but it's kind of like a hint of it, but you don't really see it. But in the insulated version, it's a little bit more pronounced. And let's just take a look real quick at the insulated here. If you notice, on the insulated inside lip, this is smooth because it's double walled, where here on the single walled non-insulated, you can see right through it, obviously. Okay, and here's the threads. Now they say not to put the insulated in a fire, and I would recommend to adhere to those guidelines. You might just pop your bottle or crack it, or worse. Not exactly sure what would happen with that vacuum seal and exposed to high heat, but it might be a bad thing. So it would probably definitely be a bad thing. Alright, and there's your logo there, and their glossy colors. And yes, they have the insulated in stainless as well, but and you see the bottom there's stainless and stuff like that. The reason why I went with the colors for the insulated and then stick to the stainless color for the non-insulated was just so that it was very easy to tell them apart. Some people aren't into gear, like for example my girlfriend. She might not necessarily know the difference or understand why you don't want to put it in a fire. You know, if something happened to me, worst case scenario, whatever. So I just kind of stick to it, getting them, if they're insulated, their colors. And it's very easy to remember, I don't want to put something painted in a fire because it'll mess up the paint. Okay, and if that split second stops somebody, not saying, you know, her, because she can tell the difference, but I don't want to have to put her in that situation. So if it's painted, it's pretty, don't put it in the fire. If it's stainless, you can go ahead and beat the crap out of it, and that's fine because it looks more like a tool. So, you know, that's just kind of like my own little standard, as stupid as it is or whatever, but that's just my way of thinking with it. Alright, now, let me just show you guys something too. I'm bouncing all over the place. Let me back you guys up a little bit. Actually, hold on a second. I'm not going to do that. Alright, this is the 40 ounce. This is the Glacier cup. There you go. Okay, it fits. It fits on there tight, and it comes off good. Just for the record. All right, now their little coffee cup here. Okay, this has a couple things to it that you're going to have to, you know, keep in mind when you're cleaning this. Yes, it does come apart. All right, now from the top you have on, off. It doesn't turn any more counterclockwise, and it doesn't turn any more clockwise. Basically what this does, it functions in a quarter turn, which it's a quarter of the circle for those that aren't familiar. Alright, now we're going to flip it upside down, and to remove this, basically the hinge part or the pivot part, you pinch that together and then push, and it comes right out. Okay, now something to keep in mind, there is a rubber O-ring on that there. What that does is it minimizes the chance of spillage. Understand that whether this lid is in the open or closed position, if shaken around, it will leak. It won't leak too bad if it's closed, but it will leak. Excuse me. Okay, now, something else, you can put this cap on wrong. Okay, and probably the first 2 times I did it cleaning, I put it on wrong. Alright, what do I mean by wrong? Well, it only turns a quarter of a turn, and if you put it on some type of goofy way, it won't open. It'll just be, you know, like if you put it on like this, it won't open. Okay. So the best thing that I found is, okay, this right here cut out is for that hole right there, so that way you can, you know, drink from it. Well, what I do, which is very simple, and I know this sounds real stupid, but I just line those 2 up and then push that on, and it's there, and the detent will lock it either way, and there you go. Alright, and this has a gasket similar to the standard top as well, and that seals real nice. You know, they're not going to be able to have this be 100% watertight unless it was ridiculously expensive. Okay, I don't really know what else to say as far as that goes. I don't really see it as being a problem, because in most everyday situations, people walking out of the house and they got a coffee cup kind of thing, I'm not really that type of person, so it doesn't really affect me in that way. But nevertheless, you know, it'll seal as long as you're conscious of what you're doing. Now, if you're not, or if you just want to throw it in a bag or something like that, you can just use the standard lid. Okay? And this is kind of where I was at, and I was talking with Colleen as well about this, was just use the standard lid. Okay? This is your hot coffee. You can shake it up. It's watertight. You can throw it in your purse, your man bag, whatever you got going on. And then you just take this and put it in a baggie. And then wherever you get where you're going, whether it be in the vehicle or whatever, you take this off once you're stationary or not as you know, bumpy of a transport or whatever. And then you screw this on, and then you have it. Okay, it's as simple as that. When all the coffee's gone out of it, or your tea or hot beverage, whatever, then it doesn't matter, because you don't really have to worry about spillage. Can things still drip and this and that? Yes, they can. You could always take the cap, take it back off, put it in that same baggie, and then put that like that, wipe off around that real quick with a little napkin or something like that, and take it home to be washed. I know that seems real stupid, but just wanted to throw it out there. It's just one of those things. Just trying to be real thorough with my non-professional video here. But just want to share it with you guys. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to drop me a line. You know, I'm not an expert or whatever, and I did my best with this video. It's probably kind of a crappy video, but I just kind of felt the need that it was out there. You know, because when I was getting a few of these, like for example, when we ordered this, we weren't exactly sure on how big, or I wasn't exactly sure on how big it was, this and that and everything else. So, you know, if something in this video is helpful to you, or if I didn't cover something you want to know, please let me know. If I have to do a second video, you know, definitely let me know, and I'll see about doing that and everything. But I really wanted to put it out there because I believe in Klean Kanteen. Okay, I have a couple more of these stashed in like kits and stuff like that. Again, they're all purchased. Nothing is given. There's no kickbacks or anything. This is not advertisement. I speak only on my behalf and my behalf alone. And this is just what I found to work really well for me and my needs and different kits and systems and things like that. So just please understand that. But thank you very much for watching. And it's like I always say, let's all learn from each other. Joe Tactical out. Klean Kanteen? What if it's dirty? Is it still a Klean Kanteen? What's up with that?